zero waste. 3 on 3, my type of date. All this stuff, I might be late. It's all this stuff, I 8 by 8. Wow. 200 hoes, 30 black jumps, all of us know. Put on that stuff, I let her go. Ain't no handcuff, I get a hard on. When them bands come, these niggas too loose. Need to tighten, no took her to Hermes. Got her items up, what it fucked up. And the spider home. Free the guy down the road, gotta hide the phone. Had my name from the street, not a microphone. Ain't no sleep, she on 2, I took Adderall. Niggas act like they us, but they not at all. Caught the baddest shit, I forgot the car. I put down in my teeth like on power walk. Pretty titties, her whole body sauce off. Hold the back of her head till her jaws locked. I don't care what he do, he a cornball. Extra layers, I'm dressing, I'm stuffed gang. I'm the real one, 2 million on pinky ring. Come through pimping like Pinky without the cane. Niggas thinking they happy, they Eddie Kane. I been put on this stuff in my baby frame. Walk around with $1 that's pocket change. Niggas think that you smart till you knock your brain. I done brought the rover like on the flame. Me and Ski trying to see who the coldest shit. If I see you with bro, I don't know the bitch. Extra stuff every time, extra stuff every time, extra stuff every time when I'm stepping out. Put on stuff every time, put on stuff every time, put on stuff every time when I'm stepping out. 8 by 8, 36, zero waste. 3 on 3, my type of date. All this stuff, I might be late. It's all this stuff, I 8 by 8. Wow. Breaking the 9. Inside the spot, you know 3 of them mine. Feel like one oak and they one of a kind. 3 of a kind. Put on my ice and all 3 of them blind. I put grease in my soda, I'm trying to get fried. She rocking that outfit, she trying to get high. Rubbers on rubbers, I never get tired. Bought her that ice and I know she still lying. Brought number 1 on the plane cause she fly. Brought number 2 a new whip, she got dry. Brought number 3 a new Gucci, so dick. Brought number 4 a new sticker, she 5. Brought number 5, she not 5, number 5, number 5, number 5, number 5, number 5. Yeah, one at a time. Yeah. Bring them all of them. Yeah. Wow. 8 by 8, 36, zero waste. 3 on 3, my type of date. All this stuff, I might be late. It's all this stuff, I 8 by 8. Stuff. Wow.
Today, we're going to talk about the loaded college basketball slate, MLB Spring Training winners, and let's cash another squad ride. This is Behind the Lines. I mean, Chucky Hepburn had Boopie Miller in jail. It was tough to watch. Maybe the worst game I've ever seen. Boopie Miller missing layups left and right. Couldn't cover a parked car. You got Chucky Hepburn jacking up threes. Didn't have a chance because for some reason, I don't know why, but in hockey, a 2-goal lead is actually like losing. It might be worse than losing. You might as well be losing, because a 2-goal lead is never safe.
This feels like a game where Ohio State can make this weirdly close, but it's a game where you look at it and you're like, okay, Purdue should dominate at home, and you turn it on because it's a tied game with 3 minutes left and Ohio State's fighting. I think this is going to be a close game when really on paper it shouldn't be at all.
And then I see this quote from the coach, his starting center, Tomislav. He literally said, deathly ill. The kid's sitting on your fucking bench. What are you talking about? He's deathly ill. He looks fine to me. And if he is that sick, why is he sitting next to the rest of your team? Are the neurons in your brain not functioning? What's going on up there in Illinois? What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Wednesday, episode 651 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your 2 hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. If you haven't started tracking your bets over there on Bookit Sports, maybe start today. I'm sure Geek Goot's over there on Bookit, tracking all his bets, his 3 winners from yesterday in the chat. W Geek Goot, W Pickett. Go track your bets over there on Bookit Sports if you haven't checked it out already. I promise you it's worth your time. W Subbang coming in from Budman as well. W Fellows, Jovan, the Krabs, Judge, McGoots. Okay. Sure, Budman. Still trying to piece that one together. Chad, how we doing? Hope you're having a great week. Okay. WTMA earlier today with Mikey and Lauren as well. Way to kick off the day. W's. Great fucking TMA today. If you guys missed it, you can always go back and rewatch on the YouTube. Okay. I'll be on there tomorrow. WTMA. All right. And WBTL yesterday, Jovan. W Squad Rides. Let's fucking go, dude. Sure we can. W over on the ice.
Yeah, 2 teams coming off a shutout. One of the only things I will blindly play without a singular reason in any sport.
Yep. The old double bagel narrative. Somebody get the shugs. We got 2 bagels. and we got an over on the ice, and that one was pretty fucking sweat-free, if I could say so myself. We take it. W's. Let's go, Pax Picks. Hope you've been tailing, my man. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. Okay, sports betting, it's a fucking roller coaster, ups and downs. We've had some downs, more downs than ups over the last 2 months, but I got a good feeling about this week. Great start, a couple winners in a row. Let's stay hot. Let's keep moving and grooving. And yep, like Pax Picks is saying in chat, weeding through the hokey cake. Why don't we take a peep at the hokey cake?
Just hand up horrendous hokey cake wager. That team don't know what I'm doing. Betting on the Hokies, man.
That's all right. It's not Ma and Pa's Hokies, Jovan, right? A couple years ago, that team at Castle, that place is a fucking gauntlet. That's where good teams go to die. The better the team, the worse they play at Castle, at least when I was there. But times have changed. And they got destroyed last night. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. For now, let's take a peep at how we did overall. 3-2 yesterday from you, Jovan, and you smacked the ones that mattered. Can we take a second to just look at that bottom right sector? Chat, do you guys realize what just happened? Do you? Do you realize what happened yesterday? Because not only did Bismack Biyombo cash his more than 11.5 PRA, which, by the way, got bumped down, I believe, at some point yesterday. It was getting bumped around at least. I saw it at a different number.
It was moving up and down. I had eyes.
Didn't matter. Okay? He got a fucking double-double, just like he said, Jovan. What was it, plus 2,000? We were talking about yesterday?
Dude, somebody sent me.
Unbelievable.
Don't really have the facilities to line shop down here, but I saw some fat odds, dude. Somebody sent me a plus 3,900 ticket, which I'm not complaining about cash, but there's some crazy odds out there.
W. Biyombo. Who would have thought he'd be coming through like that in the big 2-5? Only about one person I know calling that one, sniffing that one out, and it's this dude over here. Unbelievable. W. Bismack, W. Jovan. Okay, solid day overall. I think I went 3-1-1 yesterday with a push, I think. If not, correct me if I'm wrong, but we'll move and we'll groove. W sharp report day, W BTL overall yesterday. All right, let's replicate that today. All right, we have a loaded college basketball slate. We'll take a peep at some spring training angles and see if there's anything sticking out on the boards. We get the Nats game starting up in about 15 minutes. You know we got to take a peep at that. For now, though, Jovan, if you don't mind, I'd like to bitch about something that you probably didn't expect, but I need to get it out. You got a minute?
Get after it.
Dude, see, run that shit. Okay, and sorry guys if the sound was super loud. Can we mute that puppy? Should be good now.
Go.
Can we get some W's? Can we get some 10s? Please. Can we get some W's now? Let me know. Good. W Pega. Here's the deal, guys. Apologies for the sounds. Okay, I should have
keeping you guys on your feet. God, stop bitching.
I should have never roasted Red Panda. This is what I get. Okay. This is not a chirp at Red Panda at all. I respect her game greatly. I think she's one of the greatest, probably the best halftime performance, honestly, out there in any sports. I think you could get Red Panda over any of these, gimmicky halftime performances, and you're having a better time enjoying the Red Panda show, right? This has nothing to do with her. Jovan, I'll be honest with you. I don't think the Hokies have deserved Red Panda coming to town over the past couple seasons. Where you're telling me we're shelling out thousands of dollars to get Red Panda to come and perform in front of a depleted crowd because the team that we built up over the last half a decade is now dead and slowly dying, right? We're paying her money to come and perform instead of paying our players? Guys, we don't have any money for the basketball team. That's why we fucking suck. And we've addressed it. We're bringing back Mike Young next year. We're going to give him more NIL money. Sure, that's great. If I was running the show, if I was calling the shots down there in Blacksburg, Jovan, I don't know about you, but I would probably be penny pitching at this point, doing whatever I can to get the best product out there on the field. It's almost like they don't give a hoot. It's almost like they think it's just a big gimmick or a big joke, right? People are going to show up no matter what. It's Blacksburg. It's all locals anyways. They're going to come to the games no matter what. They already bought their season tickets because it's all they got going on in their life. Enough is enough. This money should be going to the fucking players. You could have a better player out there with the amount of money you're paying Red Panda to come into town this season. I don't get it, man. We have not earned Red Panda. Okay, when I was there a couple years ago, when we were pulling off upsets, beating Duke at home, left and right, storming the courts, Red Panda deserved to come into town, right? The team earned it. The team was in a good spot. Right now, Jovan, I don't think the Hokies earned it. I don't think they've earned a Red Panda performance, man. And that pissed me off last night. I'll be honest, seeing her out there when we're losing to UNC, a crummy UNC team, by the way. 91-59, the final in that game. But go ahead and trot Red Panda out there and make sure it seems like everything's okay. It's not.
Well, let me give you maybe a little counterpoint, Krabs. What if it is a consolation prize to the fans for sticking out this Moose Piss season? They want to give them a show for sticking with them and going to see this absolutely rat piss game.
Sure. And those fans deserve that. They deserve more, to be honest with you. The Hokies should be paying them to go sit in those seats and watching that team this season, right? But
can I counter that point?
Sure, dude.
Take a look straight up in that top left corner. What color do you say?
I mean, yeah. I feel like that's any UNC game, though.
More like
they're showing up for the UNC fans for them.
I mean, that's also right behind their bench, too.
I know.
Yep. It just rubbed me the wrong way, man. It feels fake, right? A couple years ago when the team was cooking and we had Nickeil Alexander-Walker and we're going to tournaments and we're upsetting ranked teams, sure. Trot Red Panda out there, have a night. But this year, we got no NIL coins. We can't bring in anybody. We get the scraps from the rest of the ACC. We get the worst players around town. We got guys coming in who are getting investigated by the FBI for gambling, and we're the only team in the Power 5 giving these guys offers to come in. We have no idea. This team is so lost, but go ahead and trot Red Panda out there like everything's A-okay. I don't get it. I don't get it. Put that $10K to the NIL and pay a kid. Improve the team. Golly, man. We have not earned Red Panda. We haven't. I'll say it. We have not earned it yet. Okay? Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Fucking beast, LMNG.
Go.
Remember him? Beast. All right. I want to talk about some baseball, MLB Spring Training. Enough bitching about Red Panda and the Hokies. Okay, that should have us covered for the rest of the week. Let's take a peep at the MLB board, Jovan. You brought up an interesting square up there today. The most popular Yerfy Nerfy square, Jovan, involving my guy, New Nat, Shinosuke Ogasawara. Yeah, he's fucking terrible. He's terrible. Yep, he throws about 89, and he throws meat. Like, legitimately, give me a bat and see if I can go out there and get some hits. Now, he is a lefty, so I got a bad matchup. But Shinosuke, he's had a couple outings out there, Jovan, and it's been bad. It's gone worse than expected. We knew he wasn't going to be, the next Shohei Ohtani coming over here. We're only paying him a couple mil, and it's more of a, high risk, high reward type thing. But this guy's got no arm. And they got a Nerfy square up there, Jovan, with Sandy Alcantara. Let me go ahead and jog your guys' memory. If you haven't heard this guy's name in a while, it's because he's been hurt for a while. But let's not forget how dominant Sandy's been when he's been healthy and he's been out there for the Marlins. Jovan, he's been perfect this spring. He has not given up a run yet. And they're pairing him with Shinosuke. Obviously, they're playing today for a Yerfy Nerfy square that starts up in 15 minutes. Interesting. Part of me wants to use my baseball brain and say, you know what, even if it's the Marlins, I don't think Shinosuke has a chance out there. But the contrarian nasty better in me wants to take the Nerfy, knowing that Sandy's probably going to go out there and shove. The only guy I'm worried about at the top of the order for the Nats is James Wood, and he's really only had a couple at bats. He's only played once so far in the spring because he's had, that injury he's been nursing. So is he going to be full strength up there? This is only like his fourth at bat he's going to be seeing, and it's Sandy Alcantara. So is he getting on base? Probably not, unless it's a walk. I don't know, Jovan. I'm thinking about maybe taking the Nerfy here and trusting my guy, Shinosuke.
What if I told you, Krabs, though, that there is a certain guy hitting third who's going to get an AB in the first? And that guy's name is Paul DeJong.
Yeah, he is. He is hitting third. You know who's hitting behind him? Luis Garcia.
Luis, the GOAT.
So if somebody gets on base, we might be caked. I kind of want to take the Nerfy just because it's super weird seeing a Shinosuke square up there, Jovan. But talk to me. What are you thinking? How does that square make you feel?
I mean, I'm looking at the lineups, dude. And I know you mentioned how high that total was in comparison to the other games earlier.
Highest
I couldn't
total
tell
of the
you
day
why.
today. Yep.
I couldn't tell you why, because like I'm looking at the Marlins lineup and it's dog meat. Not that it's incredibly like going to get that much better, but like
I'll tell you why.
I
Because the bullpens going in for both these teams are absolute quail shit. That's why.
mean,
Like
yeah.
the pitchers going in are
is-
going to be atrocious.
The thing is, like, I don't know how much you can cap that when they're making like spring training lines, like enough to make the total 14.
It is the highest total of the day today. And money talk, I don't know if we're getting Krabs on a unicycle. That's going to take a lot. We're going to need some more subbies for that.
Might need that.
Yeah, Jimmy G's coming in with a resub as well. True Tyler as well. We appreciate you guys. When are we talking the Goat Well Squares, boys? Honestly, probably later this week or early next week. So get fucking ready. We might have the final squares up there on the board. I don't know if they're going to add any more. That might be it. I wouldn't be shocked if that's it. We were waiting for one more drop, and we got it yesterday. That might be it. I was taking a peep at the board last night. I'm almost done finalizing my puppy. It might be done by Friday. I know Trent was teasing his earlier today. I know you guys are starting to get excited about that. We're so close. We are so fucking close, boys. We got Ayo Gons coming in, resubbing as well. Let's go, Ayo Gons. Atta baby. 3 years, bang. Appreciate you, boys. Squad rides are heating up. Yes, sir, Ayo Gons. Tell your buddies. Tell your friends. Drop the link in the gambling group chats. Get them involved. All right, spread the word. Say the squad rides are back. All right, let's fucking lock in. Let's cash another one this week or tonight. Jovan. Highest total of the day today. Shinosuke throws 89, and he's given up runs and gotten mucked in all of his appearances so far. I might have to just not overthink this one. Trust my gut, back my guy. Do you have a counter?
I mean, I'm a little concerned about it, but I'm not the one. You're driving the spring training boat here. I'm tailing squares. I'm tearing your angles.
Do we have a Gray Rod report from Goots? Because he starts up in about 3 minutes.
He does, dude. Shot Gray Rod.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to know like how long he's gonna go. I try and like use a line to my advantage for that. I mean that looks like 2-3 innings maybe. So I mean I don't mind it.
I think we go Shinosuke Ogasawara and Sandy Alcantara Nerfy. There's no Tiger Woods TGL fades we can take today, unfortunately.
Yeah, not till next year, Krabs. Sorry.
Nobody's talking about it, but that might have been freest square on earth.
Yep. Can't let that get swept.
Freest square on earth. Kevin Gaussman has a green chart for spring training, 10K on him. Okay.
Yeah, you can't look at charts for the most part for a lot of these pitchers that are making their first starts.
Any thoughts on the other two Nerfy squares up there before we move?
I mean, I got nothing. Those look like, I guess, a little easier Yerfies, but I don't know. I got nothing.
Well, you leave me no choice. I'm going to lock it in with Aaron Judge, less than home runs, and go about my day.
Can we make a rule? If DeYoung drives in a run for the Yerfie, I want you spinning the wheel.
Okay. Here's another rule. If you take the Hokies again this season and they don't cover, you have to go to Blacksburg solo trip.
Thankfully, I mean, what is there, 1 or 2 more games? And that's definitely not happening.
Yeah. Hey, just wait till they run the table in the ACC. Okay. Krabs, should I put 1K on the Aaron Judge square? Esto, no. No. Do not do that. Okay, put a unit on it and sweat it out with the boys. Maybe 2. If you like it. Please do not bet 1K on that.
Krabs, we could tail Geek Goot.
What's Geek Goot on today? He's
Crochet.
red hot after yesterday.
Crochet K's is his POD.
Yeah, I'm out.
Geek Goot, come on that, man.
I figured you'd be out, but
come on, Geek Goot.
He said Super Goat in the comments, so he was acknowledging that he's taking a go.
Okay. All right. I'm going to lock in that 2-piece. We're going Nerfy in the Shinosuke Sandy, Nats and Marlins game, and we're going Aaron Judge, less than season home runs. Let's add another one.
You know, we totally could have done, Krabs. That Braden O'Connor 3. Doing that.
Okay. I'll tail that too. I'll drop the link for that one if you guys don't want to tail the Aaron Judge less than for the season. Okay. Jovan, you want to give the people a breakdown on that square before we get to the Shark Report here?
Guy's up for a 3 on George Mason today that has not attempted a 3 in his last 4 games. God forbid, of course, hit one. Only in one of those games he actually shot one. He shot 4. And obviously you can tell by looking at the chart, he did not make one. So insane square that's up. That's like Stamkos Point-esque, which shout out him. He had 3 last night.
Sure. Yeah, he was fucking dialed last night.
Yeah.
All right, I'm adding one more lineup. The Nerfy in that Nats game, and we will go O'Connor more than half a 3. Okay. We'll drop the link here for you guys if you want to get involved, because I understand you might want to tail this one more than the Judge lineup.
Tyler Lockett guy release. That's definitely a commander for sure.
Dude, I would be shocked if we get another big name guy in that room. He still is. Let's put some respect on Lockett's name.
I don't know that he is. He is for sure a Raider. Has to be.
Yeah, I think the Commanders are probably done making splash moves in that room, but we'll see. Krabs, no way you're basically sweating a season-long Nerfy. Yeah. Somebody asked, how many lineups do I have involving Aaron Judge? I have a couple losers in the tank, but more winners for sure. Obviously sweating out those lineups we just crafted. I got that Tiger Woods less than holes 1 last night with Aaron Judge for the season. We got that Barrios strikeouts less than pair with Judge from earlier this week. We've got a nasty Yerfy on Marcus Stroman that we paired with Aaron Judge a couple weeks ago. That's in the bank. The Mahomes one is my favorite one by far, and I put $300 on that one to win over $1,000. Mahomes more than half a pick demon with Aaron Judge season long less than. That's a good looking lineup right there, if I could say so myself. That one's my favorite, certainly.
I mean, that one's one you got to frame for that.
Oh man! All right, there's more lineups to come with Aaron Judge less than. All right, what's the line? 49.5. It was at 50.5, and it got bumped down. Interesting. Need analysis on the Maryland-Michigan game in Bama, Florida? Thought you'd never ask, Matthew. You're going to get it. Don't you worry. We got a loaded slate today. But why don't we start out going over the Sharp Report plays? Let's talk about our favorite plays for today, and then we'll go over the rest of the CBB board, the games that we like and that we're eyeing. But for now, let's go to our faves. All right, let's talk about some CBB action for today. My favorite play today in CBB, I hate to say it. Sorry, Joshy and Nick, but it's fade Mizzou and back in Oklahoma here. Sooners need a big-time win. And Mizzou already beat this team once, and they smacked them around 82-58, I believe was the final score in that game. Now we got Oklahoma, a team that's been struggling but covering. And they're not winning games, but they're keeping it close, and they're hanging around. They lost by 1 to Kentucky 2 games ago. They lost by 3 on the road to Ole Miss. You don't get many more impressive losses than those 2, to be honest with you. I know it's not good they didn't win, but 2 solid showings, and 1 on the road as well. So, and before that, they beat Mississippi State, and they kind of dominated them, put up 93 points. So Oklahoma, I know their record is not ideal, but they're playing decent ball right now, and they're getting 4.5 points to a Mizzou team that's been great this season. But, away from home, they are fadeable. I will say they are 3-6 on the money line away from their home court this season. And I think they're going to be 3-7 after tonight with potentially another outright upset. This one gives me, Auburn vibes a little bit from last night. I know Mizzou is not as good as Auburn, but would not be shocked to see an Oklahoma team coming off a couple losses, getting a big-time win. And if they do, would not be shocked if it's outright on the ML. So if you want to go that route, chat, if you want to go ML, maybe put 0.75 units or half a unit on that money line, right? A little less exposure. But if you want to go spread, put a full unit on that puppy. Sooners keep it within 2 buckets.
Sure. I'll tip the cap. I hate betting Oklahoma at home because they're always sharp, but maybe this is the spot. I can get with you.
Yeah, they certainly are sharp, and they get long respect at home. and they're a lot better at home, 11-5 on the money line. So let's hope they show up again in their home arena.
Yeah.
Do we have a prime sighting in chat yet?
Wonder what
I'm
he's
surprised
on.
we don't. Yeah, take a guess. I already looked and saw it tracked. He's on the Sooners. Sure. All right,
Shocked.
let's swing it around. Let's see what Jovan's first straight bet is for today. Let's see what he's eyeing.
We go to a boring game, hopefully, in Tennessee
Sure.
Ole Miss, which I guess it's a pretty similar scenario with like the obvious looking sharp play with Ole Miss at home. And I like the possibility of them going in and winning that game, big game, but I don't think it's going to come with very many points. And that's not a hot take because Tennessee's defense has been fantastic. They really have been. For the most part, especially against like the non-super fast teams, with Ole Miss is very obviously not. But Ole Miss's defense actually hasn't been very good either. They've been giving up 84 points to Oklahoma. They gave up 100 spot, to Auburn in that game. They lost by 30. Like they haven't been great against Vandy or Miss State. This feels like the spot where they're a little better because I think they match up pretty well with Tennessee on the side. Because the guards, I think, are going to be competitive on both sides of the floor defensively. I think Padula is obviously going to be catching a lot of Zakai Ziegler, which is a horrible matchup for him. And on the inside, I think both these teams are going to fight. I think the possessions are going to be slow, long, and drawn out. Ole Miss's whole offensive philosophy is don't turn the ball over, which when they're playing teams like Tennessee to turn you over, it turns into very long possessions with 4 shots, which I think we're going to see a lot of for Ole Miss. So I'd kind of lean their way in the game, but I don't think they're going to be able to run with Tennessee. I don't think they're going to be able to play in transition with Tennessee. I think it's all going to be just one of those low and slow classic Tennessee games where we see a rock fight. So give me the under.
I like that under. I do. And I'm a little bit worried about Padula coming off a great game back in his home state of Oklahoma, where he kind of tweaked. I think he put up 26 points, and now he has probably his toughest matchup of the season in Zakai Ziegler, right? I like this under. We're going to keep talking about this game here in a moment. And I'll tell you why I'm a little bit not thrown off, but I got another play in this game that I'm eyeing and I like. And I do like this under as well. But the last time these guys played, I know they haven't played this season, but Tennessee has had Ole Miss's number over the last couple of years. They've beaten them pretty good the last 4 times they have played. And if you look at how these two teams are trending, I mean, Tennessee's not covering of late, but they're certainly winning games. And they're coming off that big time win against Alabama. I know it was home. I know you could say it was kind of fluky, whatever, but big time win. So they got some momentum. I automatically want to fade that team coming off that, last game and win. Looking at Ole Miss and what they got going on over there, Jovan, they have not covered it in like 3 weeks. This Ole Miss team that, since they got the new coach and over the last 2 years, they've been pretty good to bettors. I feel like they've been outperforming the markets, at least. They've been getting a lot better than people expected right off the rip. This Ole Miss team has not been treating bettors very well of late, though. That's for sure. And, they were once dominating against the spread. Now they're 14-15 on the season against the spread, Jovan. And their last 10, they're 1-9 against the spread. So I was a little bit confused to see the line respect, I guess, for Ole Miss at this point. I would have figured even if they're at home, we would have been seeing Tennessee get a little bit more line respect, but the line's moving the other way. Now we're seeing it down from -3.5 to -2.5. And I want to get involved with Ole Miss, Sean Padula at home, although it might not be him who's the one carrying the weight for the offense tonight. I do think Ole Miss can keep this game within a bucket or potentially pull off the upset. This is more of a fade on Tennessee, though, after 4 straight W's and after that crazy game against Bama.
Sure. I can respect that.
Okay. Yeah, I do like your under, though, as well. I don't want to get that twisted. I
think to go, I don't want to say they go hand in hand because I guess technically if you were to look at it on paper, they wouldn't because Ole Miss has not been great on defense. But in my head, I think they go hand in hand tonight.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know, I see a lot more scenarios in my brain with the under smacking whether either team covers as opposed to an over in this game. That might be a good way to state it.
Fair.
Okay. Yeah, give me Ole Miss with the points. You'll take that under. Maybe it's just Tennessee team total under then, but either way, I think we got some pretty good plays in that game. All right?
Sure.
Let's swing it around. You got a couple more straight bets for the peeps. Mr. Totals today. I was geeking in the chat. Somebody called you Jovan Zilbert.
It's all right. I gotta work on that record. Get it best in North America. Hopefully it starts today. But
okay, yeah.
Taking the over, another 5.5 in this Blues Kings game, which I guess on paper would seem a little gross, but it's another one of these spots where the Kings, especially, they have been horrid as of late. The Blues have been quite the opposite, honestly, which is really surprising. People wouldn't really realize that, but the Kings have been terrible, and most of it's been offensively. Like defensively, they've been dealing with some injuries, like in the back. Goalies haven't been the best, but they have been horrendous in the stretch where they haven't put up more than 2 goals in 4 straight games. And a couple of those games, one of them happened to be against the Blues that they lost 4-1, but it was against the Stars, Canucks, and then the Blackhawks was the kind of the tip of the iceberg in the last game where I believe that was on Sunday. They lost, or Monday, they lost 5-1, one of their worst performances of the year. And that was off the last leg of their 3-game road trip. Now they're coming back home where they're 19-3 this season. So they're getting considerable line respect, I think, because of that, even though they got destroyed by the Blues in the game that was in St. Louis just a couple days ago, about a week ago. So now I do think they come back, and I think the attack is going to be them coming out pretty desperate at home for a really good performance after how bad the offense looked on that road trip. Kind of the same out of what we saw of the Preds, last night, where they came out super aggressive, peppered the Bruins with a million shots out of the gate. I think the Kings are going to do just the same tonight against Binnington. I would assume it would be Binnington. I don't know why not, but against the Blues randomly, like, they're this big defensive team, or at least they have been in years past, and they were to start the year. But this whole resurgence of them lately has been they're scoring goals. The offense has looked a lot better, and they've gotten healthier, which is a big part of it. But mixed up the lines, much better combinations. They've been humming, and I really don't want to fade that, to be honest with you. So I think we get 2 more teams that are coming out super aggressive. The Blues are playing with confidence. The Kings are desperate to put together something offensively, and they've just been lights out at home. So I think tip of the iceberg in this one is goals and offense.
Okay. Another nasty over on the ice. Probably won't be a hard sell after tomorrow, or after yesterday, excuse me. And then over on the ice.
This one might be a little tougher of a sell because it's no system, but we'll see how it plays out.
Okay. Swinging around, Gootsy. See what I'm crafting up here. I got one more play. I do like the first 2 a little bit more than this one, but I do like this late night play in CBB and back in Washington against a dead Trojan squad. This Trojans team is a joke. Maybe Musselman's not that guy because, again, year in, year out, his team quits on him. It's happening again. Maybe it's a coaching issue, right? At this point, he's at a new school, and we're seeing the same shit. He's got all these stars. He's got all this talent. He's got NBA guys. He's got all the hype preseason, and we're seeing this team in the regular season stink it up. Now, Coach Musselman, I feel like, has gotten away with it over the years because he's taken his team on good runs in the tournament, and they've kind of forgotten about how mid he's been in the regular seasons. But once again, the Trojans just stinking up the place, Jovan. They can't buy a win. They can't even cover. I mean, the odds makers can't keep up with it because his team shows no fucking heart. They don't give a hoot. They're already making calls, probably calling their agents, calling their moms and dads, talking about where they're going to be going and playing next year, right? What NIL bag they're going to take and what team they're going to be playing for next season, because it's certainly not going to be back at USC after what the hell we're seeing this year. I mean, it's an absolute joke. Now, with that being said, Jovan, it's not much better with Washington. Okay, this Washington team, they kind of suck as well, and they've lost 4 games too, but let's not forget they paid Great Osabar to come in here and be a fucking beast, and he's kind of turned it on and off all year, been back and forth. But I think tonight, looking at his prize pick squares and looking at his matchup, there's really nobody on this Trojans team I think that can keep up with him down low, to be honest with you. The Trojans have a lot of good guards, a lot of good wings, but they got nobody down low that I think can keep up with Great Osabar. I think he has an absolute day today, in the squares where they're sitting right now would back me because they're extremely high. I think he goes off, and we'll talk about that in a moment. And I think Washington keeps this game close. They already played once this season. They got destroyed at home, but it was a long time ago, early on in December. That game doesn't mean shit right now. You're betting on 2 teams tonight in this game that are dead, 2 teams that stink. I'll take the points. I'll take the road dog. They've been printing all season, and I want to fade the Trojans one more time before the end of the year.
Sure. Betting on Washington is absolutely horrendous, but when it involves fading Musselman's late season teams and USC, you got me a little bit. I'm involved.
All right. You got one more straight bet. Let's take a look over at that puppy. One more total. Okay.
Yeah. Sky high over in the Bama Florida game tonight, which I don't know. I've gone back and forth with what I want to do with the side because, I mean, I want to take Florida just situationally, and I guess the layout of the last week of the season, it does feel like, I know Goots was mentioning it earlier before, Bama wins tonight, and then Auburn goes into their crib and gets a win in the revenge spot they maybe need. I don't know how it's going to play out, but I do think it's going to play out with points. We did just see not the same situation because it was a little lower of a total, but in the Tennessee game, still sky high. A lot of people on that over, and Bama game didn't come through because the teams just kind of figured out that all they had to do was slow the other teams down and stop doubling, and scoring slowed down exponentially for a big part of that game. These two teams are a little different, not just because they're better offenses and two teams that, play relatively similarly, but what Florida does on defense, their whole scheme, I guess, is run you off the 3-point line, and you need to have guys that can make plays in the mid-range, which obviously Bama has that primarily in Mark Sears, but they have a couple guys that I guess can do that. They also have shooters that have been regressing for a big part since like the last month and a half, but I think they get their feet under him today. They're going to need him today. And I also think they're going to go with a little less cliff today, which is a big boost to the offense because I don't know what you're going to do otherwise against those couple bigs to keep up with them if you're Bama and Nate Oates. So I think it's going to be offense for Bama. Obviously, I think they're going to run in transition. That's a given. And in the half court, I think they'll find some success against that scheme for a bit, as good as Florida's defense is. And on the other side, too, like, I think Florida is going to have a field day, especially the guards against the guards of Bama. I know it's obviously cooked in a little bit how high the total is in the game environment, but have you seen Walter Clayton squares? Have you seen Elijah Martin squares? Will Richard doesn't even really count because he's on the heater of a lifetime, but God forbid he shows up again in this game. They're going to absolutely grub. There's no matchup that any of them are going to have any trouble with on the floor, even if they switch a bunch, which they're not usually doing against teams like this. Somebody is going to have an easy bucket, I think, for Florida pretty much at any point in this game. So I don't want to fade that. Don't want to fade that team. They're coming off a game that I think they could have even put up more points and been better. You're going to get it now. So I think this is a game where teams are touching 90s.
Chad, if you don't mind, can we refrain from saying DK Metcalf is a Raven? We all know there's no fucking shot. Okay? Can we refrain from that? Why would anybody go there? Don't you want your stats to be good?
No, dude, I think Lamar's good.
What do you mean stats to be good?
Well, just nobody's getting, over
Arthur over
4,000
yards.
Yeah. He's a generous man, Goots. He likes to spread his wealth.
Okay.
He's not
regular season man.
He's not going to. I don't know. I feel like it's harder to get over 1,000 yards on the Ravens than it is on a lot of other good teams.
We'll see.
Because they run the damn ball.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's also good.
That doesn't mean that the front office won't try and trade for him.
I mean, yeah, they try and trade for everybody.
They might.
They're always in.
They might.
Ooh, that'd be sick.
Quick thoughts here on Florida and Bama. When these two teams play, we see points. Last 5 times they played, we've seen 5 overs. So for some reason, when these teams face off, especially of late, we've seen a couple 100 pieces. Points start to flow. And this total's creeping up. It's already pretty fucking high. If you look at some of these prize pick squares, especially for the Gators, they're all pretty high in this game. That's because they're going to be running. And you're going to see Alabama, Mark Sears pushing the pace as well. I kind of like the Alabama team total over, and I kind of like Bama in this game. I'm curious on your thoughts on the side, Jovan. I know you're a Florida guy, and at this point, hats off to you. You found a really good fucking team this year, and you're a little bit ahead of the curve. Are you thinking they cover this game? Are you thinking they win outright? They've beaten Bama the last 2 times they played them.
Yeah, I mean, I want to take them. I just don't know that I can do it. Especially, it's more like the situation for me because like Florida, they're the greatest team of all time, right? They're coming off a game where they just absolutely demolished A&M when people thought A&M were sharp. You got at Bama coming off the buzzer beater loss, and now they have like senior day before you get Auburn in the house this weekend. So like look ahead spot can't really apply here. So I don't know. Everything in me wants to take Florida, and I think a lot of the obvious like sharp looking play is definitely Alabama. So I have no business fading it tonight. I just wanted to take something points related. This game is going to be a fast game, free throw line competition, I think.
Okay. Who's making their free throws? Would certainly rather have a Bama ticket probably if it comes down to that in this game with them being at home. I lean Bama. I'm with you, though. I'm not confident enough in the sides. I'd much rather tail this over that you got on the card and you just sold very well. Give me points. Love it.
Sure.
Are we going to see this total keep moving up? Maybe. I wouldn't be shocked to see it keep moving up.
I don't know. Rarely do you get totals this high that move up really at all. So, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if it goes down. It's just like everything on the prize picks board, just like Judge, like the highest ridiculous outliers always get steamed down because everybody sees value in the other side.
Okay. Maryland Mish report. We're getting there, Beef Stewski. Stick around. Okay. I think we're done with these straight bets. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the prize pick squares, and then we'll get to those really good games in college basketball. Don't you worry, guys. A couple squares. Yeah, Rizzy Fears. Getting back Rizzy Fears today. Let's fucking go. Back at a couple squares for some teams I think covered today, and it starts out with Jeremiah Fears coming off of a couple mid games. I think we see points in this game, and I want to back their best player, their stud guards, in a game with another very high total at 161.5. If Oklahoma wants to cover this game or have a chance to win outright, it's got to be because of Rizzy Fears coming through, and he averages closer to 15.5 points per game. But there's a reason why this number is a little bit higher today. Number one, coming off not his best game, not his best week. Number two, total's high in this game. And if I'm looking at how it plays out, I'm seeing points, right? This is Mizzou we're talking about here. If they don't cover, they're still putting up points and carrying their weight. This team's really fucking good. I don't want to get that twisted. I really do respect and like this Mizzou team. It's just I like fading them when they're on the road. All right.
Yeah.
But today, it's got to be Jeremiah Fears. Like tonight, if anybody has a chance to carry this team to an outright win, it's got to be Rizzy Fears running the point. The young guy, he's an absolute fucking stud. If you guys haven't watched this kid play yet, might be worth your time tonight. And then I already mentioned Great Osabar a little bit earlier, Jovan, but the Trojans got nobody to match up with him tonight. And I've been pretty good picking out and sniffing out these good Great Osabar spots. No pun intended, but this dude, when I've taken him all season, knock on wood, he's come through, and it has not been that hard to find, right? I feel like Prize Picks has been tipping their hand a little bit with this guy. His square is insanely high for almost all of his stat categories today, so why not just take his PRA in a game where I think he dominates, in a game where I think we see points, in a game where I think they cover? It's got to be because of Great Osabar showing up, showing out, and again, nobody to match up with him down low. For this Trojan squad, I'll back Great Osabar, who's cashing a fat paycheck. He better still be motivated, or he's going to be hearing it from those boosters and those fans. He's making over $1 million a year to do nothing. Tonight, he shows up for his one time he does a month.
Sure. How about it? I'm hearing rumors of some porkage in wherever Baltimore plays, wherever the O's are getting.
Sarasota. Fucking Royce Lewis driving them.
Royce Bonds.
In the real news, Ogasara, we got a delay in the Nats Marlins game.
GG's.
We got a delay.
Could be good.
That's not good for a Nerfy.
Could be good.
That much.
Could be sleepy bats.
Maybe some sleepy bats. I think maybe more some sleepy arms, but we shall see. If anybody has anything or has heard anything, I try to do some Googles and checking out the feeds for socials, but I have not seen any updates from the Marlins or the Nats. Shocker. Okay. Jovan, would love to see what squares you're crafting up for tonight, and I will craft up the Sharp Report format and drop the link for the peeps.
Sure.
W. Denny.
Yeah, started with your guy, Denny. Has to be done today. Celtics are going to be pretty shorthanded. They're missing a bunch of guys. You know, KP, one of them. I think Drew's out. Looking at the line, I would probably assume Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown also has the potential to sit. Maybe you get one of those guys out as well. But in this matchup where you're going to get a little smaller and a little weaker of a rebounding team or lineup, at least out of the Celtics, I think this is a perfect spot for Denny to be super aggressive on the boards, which when he has run into situations like this against these type of teams that are super shorthanded and really lacking like an interior presence or a board presence, that's when he gets super aggressive and he hangs around the rim. So especially when you're going to have whether Tatum or Brown sit, one of them probably is going to sit. Tumani Kamara is going to be running, around chasing one of them. You're going to have Donovan Clingan, who, for whatever reason, when this happens, he refuses to get boards or refuses to even try. Somebody cleans him up, and a lot of the times it's Denny. So I think it's a great spot for him to be on the boards. And then playmaking, especially against that lineup, I think it's pretty key, and he's going to have a pretty big role in that too. So give me his RA, and then Johnny Juzang is, I guess, the random NPC on the card today, UCLA grad, UCLA stud. Another super shorthanded team is the Jazz that are playing your Wizards. He's going to be in the starting lineup, I would assume. I don't know why Keontae George, they refuse to start him even when they're super shorthanded, but they do. So like the starting lineup for today with no Sexton, no Kessler, no big man period because there's no John Collins. It's going to be Filipowski. It's going to be Sensabaugh. It's going to be Johnny Juzang somehow, some way, who I think has a floor of like 20 minutes. But against the Wizards, a lot of these guys, when they have increased volume, increased roles, especially when they're willing to shoot, which Johnny Juzang is, he's been awful. Like he gets a certain volume, even when he gets like 18, 20 minutes, he just has not been shooting well at all. What better of a spot to do it and the spot to pick it up than against this Wizards team? When everybody wants to take Collier, everybody wants to take Filipowski, Supercorp today. They'll get theirs. Everybody does against the Wizards, but I want to target Johnny Juzang. Be my guy and give me 10.
Brother, you could have saved some words and just said you're taking a guy against the Wizards.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
I actually was pretty curious on how this Wizards defense is rated this year because, they're showing a little bit of heart of late. They got some young guys. They do play until the final whistle. I will say, I'll give the Wizards a little bit of credit. A lot of teams in the NBA don't show a lot of heart. Wizards can't afford that. These young guys are playing for their fucking futures, right? So they do play until the final whistle, and the coach has been coaching them pretty hard. So they are fighting, like Jason's saying in chat. They do suck still, though. I don't want to get that twisted. I'm not saying they're good.
Really bad. Really bad.
Still suck. But they are playing much better. They are showing some heart. Ever since they got that cancer Kuzma out of here, who just did not give a single hoot for the last 2 years, they've kind of turned it around, at least effort-wise. But Jovan, they still have the third worst ranked rated defense based off efficiency in the NBA. Yeah. So they are still that bad.
It's pretty bad.
And tonight,
pretty bad.
I'm looking at this game. Initially, I was like, holy shit, the Wizards laying 5 points. Sound the alarms, right? We're going to DC. We're going to Cap One. We're laying the points. But like you're saying, the Jazz have a ton of guys out. So makes a little bit more sense. And the Wizards have looked better of late and they're home. So I don't think the spread is that weird. I'll be staying off that. Why don't we just back your guy, Johnny Juzang, to do job tonight?
Why not? This is like for sure the call the number game of the day.
Yep. Probably is.
Yeah.
Kuzma, the local businessman. Yep. I wonder if those restaurants are going to stay open now that he's up there in Milwaukee. We'll see. A couple people in chat saying they're loving the Sharp Report today. Sure. I dropped the link to the Sharp Report 4-man in the Twitch chat if you guys want to get involved. I'll drop it one more time. Good to see you in the chat today, Geek Goot, up and moving. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. Okay. Good.
He still needs one more, doesn't he? With 2 outs.
Dude, do you have beef with Geek Goot? Because you
no
told
beef.
us
I tried to get you to take his square, but you didn't.
Oh shit! I thought you shut it down.
I
No,
mean, it didn't even cash yet, though.
They cash.
It was 4.
Then he's pushing.
Yeah.
W Geek Goot though.
Yeah, W Geek Goot.
Still W play, W push. We'll see if he can finish it. Okay, unbelievable. Somebody give a Jokic 1.5 threes, 5 units for Krabs. Should we take a peep at that real quick? Does he have a weird 3 square up?
Dude, that 3 square has been weird for decades if it's up again.
It cashed last game as well, so.
Yeah.
If it didn't cash last game, I'd be way more inclined. That's for sure. All right, I don't know if I can do it now.
You could take the guy that's facing him tonight.
Ooh.
Little Joval, Wizards legend.
Who are you trying to take?
Valanciunas.
Sure, on the Kings.
Yeah.
Look at his points chart. Holy shit.
Yeah, which, I mean, it's really just the last 3 games because it's sans Sabonis, but still.
Okay. All right, they might need Big Jonas getting up and moving today. His points and his rebound square is pretty high, but like you're saying, for a good reason. Good reason. Okay. All right. Y'all talk Maryland, Michigan. Total looks a bit high for how Moose both been offensively. W question, Brady. Why don't we go take a peep at oh wow, we got a Denny bump. W, 10.5. That ain't no problem, chat. That ain't no problem. Still lock that puppy in. Why don't we take a peep at the college basketball slate, Jovan? We still got about 30 minutes and a great college basketball slate. So I want to make sure we get everything covered and talk about a lot of these great games. We could start out with that Maryland-Michigan matchup. Initially, I wanted to go with the Terps here on the roads and kind of taking the nasty contrarian angle, I guess, fading Michigan, who's been a wagon overall this season. on the ML. I feel like they've treated bettors pretty fucking goods and leaning into that nasty narrative of Maryland can't win on the roads. But they've kind of beat that narrative of late. They've actually won their last 2 road games as well. I know it was against Penn State and Nebraska. Those are 2 pretty solid wins, though. And they didn't cover the second one against Penn State. Shout out Penn State. But, 2 pretty impressive wins. So maybe that's not, the greatest play of all time. Maybe it's not as contrarian or nasty or good looking as I initially thought. Jovan, where's your head at in this game? Do you agree with chat that total opened up kind of high at 154.5?
I wouldn't say so. Because, that's along the same totals that both of them have gotten over the last, couple weeks. Michigan hasn't seen a total below 150.5 in damn near a month. And, Maryland's last total was at 154.5. And they see pretty common around that number. So I wouldn't say it's high. Not to say that they haven't been, pretty moose offensively. At least Maryland hasn't the last couple games. But I don't know. I definitely lean the Terps. I'm not going to bet it just because it's another tough situation. But, I don't know that we've seen many more obvious bounce back spots than this one, which we've been talking about fading a lot of them, much higher numbers. But same thing applies here. It's just, I don't know that you could get a better matchup in the entire Big Ten than Maryland against Michigan, because Michigan, their big advantage over everybody is that you have 2 bigs in Vlad and Danny Wolf that it's really hard for anybody to match up against them. When you have Derek Queen and Reese, I don't know if there's a better counter to that they're going to face all season. It's I'm a little concerned about taking Michigan, especially when Maryland's going to turn them over a little bit. And it's going to be just a tough look for anything on the inside, I think.
Yeah, that's a great narrative, I guess, to bring up, Jovan. There's really not many better duos down low than both these squads, the Terps and the Wolverines, right, with Vlad and Danny Wolf. So I'm very intrigued to see how this plays out. I feel like we're going to learn a lot about both these squads from this game tonight, and hopefully learn a lot about how they're going to match up in the tournaments once they face a bigger team. And I feel like we're going to get a good read on how to bet, both these squads for the rest of the season with how this game plays out tonight. So let's see how both, great units down low face off against each other. And, after talking through that immediately makes me want to just take the under in the game. Thinking that those 4 gentlemen kind of cancel each other out. They all kind of D up and struggle against each other offensively. But that's just kind of where my brain goes off the rip.
Yeah, I'm with you.
We got a couple subbies coming in. W69, nice resub coming in late. Just want to thank Jovan for Bismack double last night. Paid for the drinks and then some. Hell yeah, dude.
I'm legitimately shocked at how many people actually put coin on that last night.
I'm not shocked because you hit shit like that all the time and then nobody talks about it afterwards. Jovan, another great call. Bismack fucking Biombo in the big 2-5. Are you kidding me?
That was nuts.
Are you kidding me? W resub and W at T84 coming in as well with the resub for 14 months. We appreciate you, Beast. We appreciate all you guys in chats, even if you're not resubbing. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for getting involved. Stick around for the third stream after this as well in about 30 minutes. Okay? For now, let's keep moving and grooving, and I do want to get this on record. A little surprised to see the Terps as a public dog there on the road on Pickett. We'll see where it ends up, closer to tip-off, but that was a little surprising to me. Saw the Terps getting a little respect on the ML and the spreads. Interesting. All right, let's keep moving to grooving, Jovan. A game that looked funny to me that we're not going to spend time on, but I wanted to bring up is Fordham getting 3.5 points against the Revolutionaries. I got a soft spot in my heart for GW, right? I love that team.
That was the game that was on your mind, man?
Yes, because this line is stinky, and I got to let the chat know that Fordham is fake sharp at home all the time and not to get involved. That's what I got to let them know about.
Fair.
Yeah, cannot be getting involved with Fordham. I've seen this movie before, although Fordham looks like a juicy dog. Guys, they've been doing this for the last 2 years. I wish bets like this hit. If they did, I'd be a lot richer. And I'd be telling you, I'd be screaming through the mic right now, lock this in. But unfortunately, I've learned my lesson. And I've learned over the last couple of years what teams are just fucking fake sharp. Okay? And Fordham is. When they're at home, they're getting line respect. It simply doesn't matter. I'm not falling for it. I'm not saying go on and bet the Revolutionaries. Don't take GW minus 3.5. Just sit this puppy out. Fordham's fake sharp. It looks like a great looking play on the surface, but Jovan, it's not. I'm telling you, they don't respect coins. Stay off the Rams. I know I don't have to tell you twice, but stay off the Rams.
You don't got to tell me. You probably don't even have to tell me once.
We got the big bat coming in. Did somebody say sub bang? Yes, sir. Big bat. Sure we can. Sure we can. And yes, Gents Club Sports, I am on Ole Miss. Jovan is on the under in that game as well. So we got a couple angles in that one. Okay?
Sure.
Let's keep moving and grooving. We'll talk about a game that people actually give a hoot about and not just Krabs A10 plays. Kansas State, Cincy. Well, do people really care about this game much more than the other one? Probably not much more. But they're two real teams and two real schools. And tonight you got Cincy laying, 9 points at home, Jovan? Should Cincy be laying 9 points to anybody right now, or 8.5? Probably not. I know they're coming off a win. They're coming off a loss. Before that, they had 2 wins. I know Kansas State is coming in off a win. Before that, they couldn't buy one. This has been the weirdest Kansas State team I've ever seen. My goodness. I mean, they are all up and down. They're either the greatest team in the country or the worst team in the country. It's crazy to watch. But Jovan, Cincy coming off a loss, they're home. They're laying a big old number. I'm not going to lie to you, man. I was kind of intrigued about Cincy laying 8.5. Should they be laying that many points to anybody in any scenario right now?
Probably not, which is why I don't want to take Kansas State. And there's a little, I don't know, maybe a little bias in that. And the one thing that I love paying attention to in the Big 12 is teams after they play Houston, especially after they cover against them. Those teams struggle mightily in their next game for a majority of it. And they just played a pretty competitive game since he did against Houston on the road, which was a little surprising to me. I thought after, the great stretch of games, like they just swept, the Texas series with the 2 home teams or 2 teams at home and Baylor and TCU and looked good in those games. And then they followed up by going on the road to Houston. I thought maybe that's where it falls apart, and it didn't. And not that I got involved in it, but it was something that I was eyeing. They look great. And now you get a Kansas State team that might get a little good news tonight because I think Coleman Hawkins might come back and play. That's like a game time thing, so we'll see how that works. I don't even know if that makes me want to bet on them more or less, but that team is really odd without him in there offensively. So I think that's kind of a better thing, I guess, that there's a little unknown there for Kansas State, and they might be coming in with some extra motivation, I don't know, little juice on the road against Cincy. So I think this game's competitive.
Right now, we got a full count to James Wood, by the way. We're up and moving.
Oh, boy.
In the Nats and Marlins game. Full count to James Woods. We'll see how this one plays out. We already got 1 out. Looks like C.J. Abrams flied out to center field. I have not seen him get a single hit this spring. I think he's hitting 100.
Wow. Horrendous signs, Krabs. Horrendous signs.
We got Juiced Crane coming in hot with the resub for 20 months. Let's go, Juiced Crane. Atta baby. Appreciate you getting involved, Beast. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. Oh. And in play, ground out. 2 down. 2 down. 2 down. We got Paul DeYoung up in 2 down. 2 down. Okay. Let's get 1 more. All right. Now the camera's out of focus because I was pretending like I was on the field. Hold on. All right. We're back. Juice Crane. I don't know if I'm loving Morehead State. I'll be honest with you. I've seen a lot of Morehead State love today, though. Obviously, a tournament game, right? So loser is done for the season, and it's a neutral site. Okay, so neither team's playing at home here. I don't think. They're playing in Evansville. Jovan, you got Morehead State, who was on a bad stretch towards the end of the season, but they are finally coming off a win in their last game against UT Martin. UT Martin stinks. When these guys played earlier this season, though, Jovan, they split. So Morehead State dominated in the first one at home. And then on the roads, they kind of got dominated in that matchup. They lost by 13. So they split the season series. The spread in this game, Morehead State -1.5, catching, half a point of steam from that -1 opener. I'm not in love with anything in this game. I know Morehead State, their name carries some weight. They made the tournament in recent years, and they get some line respect every once in a while. Linwood gets no fucking respect, and they've never been here. So seeing them at +1 honestly probably makes me lean them. But they got no tourney experience, and Morehead State's a much better program down there in the mid-major. So if you want to back more of a mid-major blue blood, I guess, that's been in the dance in recent years with a better coach, you go Morehead State. If you want to go a nasty, short dog that probably should be getting some more points when they really haven't been in many tournaments, they're new D1 squads, then you go Lindenwood.
You watching the game or no?
No.
There's an injury delay.
Oh, fuck.
If it's Paul DeYoung, bro.
Who is it?
Yeah, I don't know yet.
Chat?
It came
Who is
after a foul ball, so maybe he fouled a ball off his foot or something.
Jesus Christ. We got fucking 3 weeks until the season starts, and we already got guys out for the year. What are we doing? What are we doing? Fouled off foot or catcher? All right, let's not just say things we don't know. Let's not just say guesses in the chat, but let me know if you guys see anything. Okay? Gosh. Yeah, that's my guy, dude. I'm very high on him this season. Paul DeYoung. He'll be starting at third every day until he gets hurt. And it might already be happening. Get Jose Tena up and moving, folks. We'll be playing third base this year. Jesus. We got a Pax Picks auto tail coming in. Sure. Get the auto tails up and moving. Pax Picks, what are we tailing today, brother? Let me know. Let me know. All right. Jovan, thoughts on Lindenwood and Morehead State? Don't get too excited.
Yeah, I mean, I hate leaning into the random mid-major sharp play of the day, but I still would lean Morehead. I think Lindenwood, I mean, defense travels, I guess, in the tournament, and that's definitely their better edge there, but I want the team who's been there, done that before, trying to snap the streak or a streak.
Okay. Let's keep moving and grooving here. I want to ask you about a couple other games that are a little bit more intriguing, I guess. Any thoughts on Pitt and NC State?
Yeah, that's a weird game. Two teams that I definitely just do not ever want to bet on, especially at this stage of the season. But Pitt is kind of in that. I know NC State's not any better. They're obviously a much worse team, but kind of what I was saying about Wake, where they're just kind of dead, and I wanted to keep fading them because it seemed like there was some kind of voodoo hex on them going into the postseason where they were trying to get enough wins and get enough on their resume to come together with something. Pitt's on that same type of stretch. So I know it's a weird game where NC State's absolutely horrid at home, but I would certainly lean their way.
Okay. We got the auto tail in chat from Pax Picks here, Jovan. Auto tail, Ducks, Canucks, under 5.5.
Wow.
They just played. The Ducks won 6-2. Ducks are an over machine. Canucks only win in lower scoring affairs. Totals at 5.5, under. It's nasty, and he loves it. Okay. No way Pena just went yard, Caleb Muse. No, we got a Sandy K. We got people making shit up in the chat. What are we doing?
That's different game, Krabs. Different game. Jeremy Pena. DeYoung struck out.
Okay. Wow, they kept DeYoung in there.
He did.
I guess
fought
he's okay.
through. Fought through enough
to
strike out.
All right. We got Frosty Feeds coming in, dropping a follow. Let's go, Frosty Feeds. Atta baby. All right, we need 3 more outs in this Nerfy. Guys, the hard work, we're not even close to getting to the hard work yet for this Nerfy, by the way. The hard work is about to begin. We got Shinosuke taking them out. Good luck out there, folks. Okay? Wanting DeYoung as your third baseman over Yepez is certainly a choice. Dude, if it was me, I would not have gone out there and signed him. I would have stuck with Chaparro and Yepez. But I'm not the GM. So, Stanley the Clove coming in with 10 subbies, Jovan. Holy smokes.
W. Stanley.
Let's go, Stan. Atta baby. Stanley Steamers. Sure. Let's go, fat girls. We got a 10 sub whale coming in from Stanley the Clove. You're a fucking beast, bro. We appreciate you. All right. Bullet dodged, not facing Garcia. Yes, breakout candidate for this year if you can't count last year. Luis Garcia. If you don't know him, you will. Low-key, one of the best second basemen in baseball. Can't wait for March Madness pod. Might feed fans. Yeah, JJ Quack. I'm stoked as well. Probably going to record one for the bigger conferences, their conference tourneys, on Monday. Okay, so stick around. We got to wait to see those brackets finalized so we know what the fuck we're talking about. Okay? W's.
Right.
Tennessee Martin is the play tonight from Stanley the Clove. We got to address it.
Yeah.
Thoughts on UT Martin?
Yeah. I mean, that's another one that's up there for the, I don't know, mid-major sharp play that everybody's picking out today, Community League in the same conference, but it's a strange line because Tennessee Tech, I believe, beat them twice in the regular season, not too spread out from one another, and now they're short favorites in this little neutral site, I guess, at home or on. I don't know where
Neutral.
it is. Evansville.
It's neutral. Yep, Evansville.
Evansville. Yeah.
Sure. Swoller Bear. We did talk about that Maryland-Michigan game. We did. What was the consensus? What did you like in that game? I think I like the under.
Yeah, I like the under. I lean the under in the Terps. I just don't really feel like getting involved with either.
Yep. People forget the Skyhawks squad ride last year. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Man.
Sure. You know, that UT Martin play is looking at me kind of funny. They just scored 47 points in their last game. Bad showing against Morehead State. Bad showing. They got swept by this team this season already, right? And like you said, those games are pretty recent. The last 2 months. Neutral site, their faves after dropping 2. I might have to get involved. Okay, Stan.
And leadoff single for Augusara.
Who in chat said we're getting a Xavier Edwards steal and then a run? Who said it?
I mean,
I saw it.
Here.
I saw it in the chat. Big Cheesy, man. What are we doing? Have heard UT Martin several times already today. Really?
Yeah.
Golly.
I've seen it on the feed.
Okay. That surprises me. Come on, Shinuke Ogasara. Lock the fuck in, buddy. Not a good start here. Not a good spring for him. I'll just be honest. He might be starting the season in AAA. Not ideal.
I mean, he needs to start the season in the KBO, Krabs.
He just came from the KBO.
Send him back.
Oh, NPB. All right. Jovan, a couple more CBB games. Let me head to the late nights. I want your thoughts on Stanford and Notre Dame. I want Goots' thoughts as well. Yep.
I mean,
you know what I want to do?
Very obvious looking sharp play. I can't with the Irish, man.
Now, the Hokies and the Irish are kind of similar here, where they've been better in recent years, and I feel like they get some line respect at home that they probably don't deserve anymore. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Very fair, yeah.
Right? Like the Irish, let's not forget, they've been a fucking wagon pulling off upsets at home over the last almost decade, right? Even when they weren't very good.
With Bray, yeah.
Yeah, and even, mainly with Bray. But I'm looking at this Notre Dame team. They've lost 4 of their last 5. Stanford's won 3 in a row. Maxime Reynaud, one of the best players in the country. He's dominating, right? The Stanford roster is just better, right? They're older. They're better overall. I know Maxime is not, or Reynaud is not, that old, but the rest of the squad kind of is. Stanford's got a pretty good team, low-key, coming off of 3 wins. Line screams it's the Irish, right? Why are they only getting plus 1.5 here with how good Stanford's looked over the last couple? Stanford 9 games over 500, but look at the splits. It seems like people remember in recent history here, and this is what I was worrying about. Reminds me of the Hokies last night a little bit, Jovan. They're public.
Yeah, it's pretty possible.
You don't like it today, Goots?
I just know they're going to find a way to blow it.
Okay.
Same story every game this season.
Now, Hutch bets. He is saying the right things. It is Ash Wednesday.
Wow.
How do you fade the Irish on Ash Wednesday, right?
It's a great point.
It's probably not a good idea.
Dude, this Shinosuke guy is actually this bad.
Yeah, he's bad. Another single.
Yeah, Krabs.
He's actually this bad, dude.
What are we doing, Krabs?
Griffin Kunine?
Griffin Canning?
He's terrible.
Oh, Konine.
Konine.
Singles on a ground ball to center field. Okay. And then he just threw the worst pitch I've ever seen.
I mean, Krabs. What are we doing, man?
Xavier Edwards on third.
What are we doing?
Yeah. And no outs. So he's scoring.
I have a POD I don't want to glaze by.
Let me hear the POD.
It's in this game right here. UConn, Marquette.
Let me hear it.
It's March. I'll start with this. I'm a Dan Hurley guy. I'm a Hurley guy. I know most people aren't, so I'm going to back him more times than none. But it's March. UConn's already got a win under their belt in March. I think Dan Hurley turns it on a little bit in March, and seeing them as a favorite at home against Marquette. That's the POD. Give me the Huskies.
Wow.
In stores.
The Huskies.
Goots, I'm scared. I have nightmares. I have nightmares fading Marquette in this economy, in March, but I totally pick up what you're putting down. UConn catching steam as favorites against a ranked squad. That is a profitable system over the last couple of years. Cannot ignore it.
Nope.
Cannot ignore it, right? And the state of both of these teams, I feel like, is a little bit lower than the last couple of years, even with Marquette still being ranked, right? They don't look as good as they have in recent seasons. They haven't been as great of an ATS wagon as they've been in recent seasons. They're actually 13, 15, and 1 against the spreads. And the last couple of years, they've just been great against the spread. So I feel like the odds makers are kind of hip. Maybe they're done losing coins on Marquette. You look at UConn this season, they've been even worse, 12 and 17 against the spread. Obviously, they've taken a step back. They're not even ranked right now. This could be a Dan Hurley, earns his paycheck type game. It certainly could be. And he's been talking a lot of shit this season, and the results have not been there. So,
because he can.
The last 2 years, he deserves to, sure, but you got to back that up this year as well. And this is a big one, Goots, against ranked Marquette catching steam at home. I certainly don't have the nuts to fade.
Josh brought up a good point on TMA. He said that Marquette is kind of like Iowa State. They're always there in March, but they never win anything.
Yeah.
UConn's the opposite.
Yeah.
They win in March.
You're not wrong.
That is true.
This is the last chance for a big statement win at home from the fans too, because I would assume senior day is this weekend, but they're playing Seton Hall, so it doesn't really matter.
Strike out.
Wow. That might be his first K of the spring, folks. I got to look into that, but that might be his first strikeout of the spring. That could be his first strikeout on U.S.
We got Barry up to bat now.
Yeah, GG.
Who's up?
Connor Norby.
We need a ground ball, which is actually Shinosuke's
specialty
secret recipe.
Wow. Yeah. Let's see it.
Mm-hmm. He likes to throw some ground balls. Can we get one? Come on. Literally cock vein fastball right down the middle. First pitch.
A changeup at 80 flat down the middle.
80
Norby's
right
whiffing.
Down the middle. I think it was such a bad pitch that it confused Norby, and then he didn't even swing.
Another.
Come on, 0-2 count.
Look at the spot of those two pitches, Krabs.
Right down the vein, dude. Right down the vein. Not good.
Literally down vein, man.
Not good.
This guy is beef.
No wonder why we were the only team to put a claim in for him. I was so excited. The first import player, right? First Japanese player that the Nats have ever had in their team's history in 20 years or whatever it's been. I was so excited. Now I'm starting to learn why we were the only team to claim this guy. I'm a little bit upset.
He's really bad. Just horrendous.
You see that third pitch? Almost hit him in the fucking eyeball.
Yeah. And GG in-play runs.
In-play runs. Thanks, Goots.
What are we doing, Krabs? What are we doing?
Now they got Stowers up and moving. Unbelievable. It sucks because it was two dinky ground balls up the middle.
I mean, yeah, look at where the pitch is, though, Krabs. It's right down vein again.
Yeah, he just doesn't get it. I guess you can get away with that overseas, but not over here.
Nah, not over here, man.
Got to start nibbling the corners, man. Just gifted an e-girl 10 subs. I need the squad ride. Jesus.
Dude, what are we doing?
Well, squad rides have been pretty good so far this week. Can we please keep it up? I'll go ahead and knock on wood there as well. Can we please keep it up and smack another puppy tonight, guys? Can we cash another squad ride? Yeah, my name's Jeffrey. We are never taking this guy ever again. We are never taking a Nerfy involving Shinosuke. We are never taking his more than strikeouts. Nothing. Honestly, might not have the opportunity anymore. They might send him right down to the minors. This could be it. This could be it for Shinosuke.
Might have been the last straw.
All right. Yeah, somebody did redeem an auto tail, and it is that Ducks Nux under. W Chaco under 5.5. Okay? Put him in the goat whale, Krabs. Okay. Come on. He's going to get mucked up in the minors, probably. All right. Jovan, any other college basketball games that you wanted to bring up, you wanted to talk about? I got one more.
Let me hear it.
I could throw at you, but Wisconsin, Minnesota. One of the weirdest teams in college basketball, Minnesota.
Yeah. I mean, without a doubt. I really want to take them. I just don't know that I have it in me, Krabs. I really don't. Especially when they're coming off of a big outright win, similar scenario, except they did it on the road. Just feels like they're on the other side of the sharp place so many times, and they turn out to be the Warriors. Now that it's them, I don't know if I have it in me. But I mean, how are we not taking your guy on senior night?
Garcia?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking up the matchup history because I was a little bit shocked to see it.
I mean,
8 games in a row.
And like a month ago.
8 games in a row for Wisconsin in this matchup. It's not just been recent success. It's been overall domination, 21-5 all time. Not super surprising to hear it's Wisconsin versus Minnesota, right? Although it's not good, right? But would have expected Minnesota to show a little bit more heart, okay? But that just makes me want to take Minnesota even more. Maybe it is just Dawson Garcia on senior night, and we avoid taking any cake on the books.
Yeah, I don't know.
To show up and show out.
There's so many of these guys. I forget who it was. I was looking at somebody last night. I was like, senior night, how the hell do I not have him in the lineup after all he's been through in his college years? Dawson Garcia's just got to be in a lineup today. Has to be. There's no other option.
It's all about him tonight. It's all about Dawson Garcia, as it should be. As it should be. Okay? Colton Cowser, RBI single, I bet.
Goods.
I bet Goods. Sure. All right. Let's lock in. We got 5 minutes left. Could we craft up a squad ride W for tonight? Please.
Sure.
You down? Goods, you down? Let's run that puppy. I want to see that damn train. All right, chat. A lot of great games today. 0 excuses. W squad ride last night. Let's run that shit back. Let's run that shit back. Let's cash another puppy tonight. All right? Jovan, I'm eyeing our plays. I mean, you got a lot of good looking totals here. I really like that Tennessee Ole Miss under. I also like that over in the college basketball game. My gut's telling me, though, we got to put that over on the ice in here, too.
Wow, sure. I mean, I definitely like the under the best, so I'm with you on that.
Okay. We'll put that Tennessee under in this puppy. See where that Blues total is sitting at.
It's probably not moved a bit. 5.5, I would assume.
Let's put that total in here. What are you thinking about Oklahoma's?
I could be convinced if it's your favorite play.
Favorite play today, Oklahoma plus 4.5.
Sure.
What do we think, chat? Juzang squad ride, come on.
You know, I did think for like a half of a second bringing up Biombo for the squad ride yesterday. I was like, nah, can't be that crazy.
Missouri's a whale, Beef Stewski saying. Wow. I think we go Oklahoma and we back Rizzy Fierce. I wouldn't mind going those 3 plays. Was there anything we talked about on today's show that stuck with you? Any plays we brought up that's, you can't stop thinking about? I'm doing one more scroll through the college basketball board, making sure we got all of our bases covered. I did like that UTM play, but if it's a Twitter POD, we can keep it out for now.
Yeah, I don't know that we need that. I would have loved to get some college baseball involved in here, but they just dropped all the lines before the game started or before stream started.
Okay. Why don't we run these 3 plays and see what chat decides?
Let's run
down?
those.
Let's run it. Chat, you got 3 plays, 3 winners, and you got 2 minutes to lock in your squad ride vote in the Twitch poll. If you're watching on YouTube, that's great. That's fine. That's awesome. You got to make your way over to Twitch so you can lock in your vote in the squad ride poll. Get involved. Do not just sit there. 3 plays, 3 winners. We got Tennessee Ole Miss under 138.5. the Blues Kings over 5.5 on the ice. And we're going Oklahoma plus 4.5. 3 plays, 3 winners get involved. Okay?
Ooh.
3 plays, 3 winners get involved because it's hitting. Don't be always scared of the Twitter POD. Not always scared of it, Big Cheesy. And I appreciate the comments, but we have cashed on 2 straight PODs on Twitter the last 2 days. So I'm thinking maybe we keep that puppy out of there today. Okay? 3 plays, 3 winners. Jovan, how do you feel about Troy Natty? What?
Baseball, I assume he's talking about. They're really good. Big game against Bama tonight, too, in their interstate rivalry game. So that's going to be probably one of the best games of the day.
And Bama's undefeated.
Yeah, I was thinking about taking Troy. I just might tonight. You know what? Probably, because I'm finally getting to look at the lines now that they've all dropped. What would have probably been on the Sharp Report, maybe instead of Florida-Bama over, Florida, I guess conveniently, minus 3.5. I think they beat the piss out of FAU after they just got run-rolled by UCF last night. So add that to the card.
W Geek Good in chat. Talk your shit, my man. You earned it. All right. 3 plays, 3 winners, chat. We got a total in CBB. We got a total on the ice, and we got a nasty dog in CBB as well. Pick your poison. All right. Click the button of the play you know is turning green. The squad ride record in 2025. People are asking in chat. It's not good. It'll be a lot better in about a month. 17-26. Not ideal. Not ideal. Overall records for the Surge Stream. 321, not Surge Stream, the squad ride. 321, 265, and 14. All time. 321, 265, and 14. Okay, so although it has not been a great start to the year, still been a dominant squad ride in its history, and we will return to form. All right, I already feel the vibes changing with the squad ride this week. Okay, ups and downs, guys. That's why you always bet responsibly. There's no such thing as a lock. All right, but we are working our butts off to get that squad ride back in the place where it deserves to be. All right, so stick with us. Keep tailing responsibly, please. Squad ride tonight, the Tennessee Ole Miss under. Jovan, I'm not going to lie to you, man. Kind of excited that won. I've been waiting for a nasty under in a primetime game for a squad rides, and we finally got one. It's been a while. So W play and W chat for voting on a nasty under and not letting their biases get in the way, not letting last night's hockey winner get in the way, or not letting a cool looking plus chicken sides get in the way of your votes. You click the button of your favorite play, and it's this nasty under, and I'm very happy it did. Okay, W Jovan. Sure. WBTL today. Dudes, chat. We appreciate you guys. A lot of sub bangs. Stick around for the Surge Stream starting up right now. Okay. W follows coming in right now as well. We appreciate all you guys. We'll catch you tomorrow, same time, same place.